Okay, my throat chakra is kind of weird, so if I cough, please forgive me. So I'm doing a live today on energy and frequency, and it's really important that we talk about this. Many of you, starseeds, empath, are really upset, as you should be, with what's been going on in Gaza, Sudan, Congo, the realization of the fuckery of the 1% for a long time, and animal slaughter, animal abuse, it's all included. And it's fucking up your energy frequency. When Gaza first happened, I saw starseeds, young starseeds in their 20s, sobbing on camera, sobbing. I was like that. I grew up watching the Vietnam War on TV. I'm not kidding. It was being televised until they stopped. And my whole energy frequency, I mean, it was no wonder that I wanted to leave the planet at the age of 8, right? Because it was like, what's the point? This is disgusting. And that was my first breakdown, to be honest with you. I was 8. And here's what I've learned over these 6 decades on this planet. I need you to, yes, please see it for what it is. Absolutely see it for what it is. And just on the side note, in case you weren't on my live yesterday, I did a guided meditation on New Earth 5D. Please look at it on my YouTube channel, because this is what I want you to do. I want you to give sacred space to what you see, be it animal abuse, watching a child being dismembered with a bomb, shit like that. I mean, I get it. Trust me, it's absolutely the most horrific shit that we've ever seen on a phone, on a computer, on a TV. Remember that this has been going on for thousands of years. Maybe not using BOMBs, but swords, brutality, infanticide. It's been going on for thousands of years. But what we're doing, and I keep repeating it to you, we have been hearing of these stories through our villages, our countries, our kingsmen, our storytellers about these brutalities. This has been going on. We are awakening to all sentient beings on this planet, realizing that all creatures of fur, fin, and feather deserve respect and care. Many of us are understanding that. And we also understand that every human being has a right to a shelter and food and water. And this is a human right, not a privilege, not something you have to beg for. Energy and frequency is going to determine where we're going next. If you keep your energy and frequency in a low vibration of collapse, of depression, of feeling impotent in this absolute fucking debacle for too long, I'm not telling you not to feel. That's for damn sure. Yes, feel it. Feel it for an hour. Feel it for 2. But don't feel it for fucking a whole week. Don't fucking do that. Because at that point, you've collapsed your frequency to 3 and 2D. It's like being in an emotional straitjacket, which impacts your auric fields, collapses your chakras, and you lose your ability to connect to true, pure downloads of direction, of directives. Not corrupted, but pure. Meaning, pure means when you get a download, you feel light, happy, healed, inspired, excited, okay? Corrupted downloads make you feel sick, confused, and so on. I'm not going to go through the adjectives. And so, so with that said, what I want you to do is give witness, give space, bless those peoples as you scroll, right? And bless them, send light. Make sure that if it's obvious they're going to die, send them a swift journey to the healers on the other side of the veils, to the healers, to the Akashic record keepers, to the Venusian elders, to whatever you believe in, Pleiadian, Arturian, Lyran, whatever, Syrian, whatever you believe in, okay? It's all good. We all have our way. We all pray to different, and we all connect to different guides. Like mine is Archangel Michael, Metatron, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. Yours could be completely different, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But what you are going to have to do and shift, and I had to learn this for myself. I had to. Because, like, for example, when Katrina happened, right, Katrina hurricane in the New Orleans area, and what I witnessed and what I heard on the radio was absolutely devastating to my soul. And I couldn't believe leaders could allow shit like that to go down, but they do, and they did. Similarly, we're seeing our homeless veterans who are not getting the kind of mental health care and support that they need. We know that psilocybin is absolutely fucking successful in helping men and women who've come back from combat with massive trauma. We know, and we're playing fucking, we're kicking rocks on making it legalized as a viable form. Instead, they're pushing ketamine. I did some research, and it is connected to MK ULTRA. It is. And that's connected to the alphabet channel that I hope you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you should. Know who is fucking with your consciousness, know who's fucking with your vibration, and fucking shift the game. Turn the switch on to your power and turn your switch off to powerlessness, impotency, and despair. And you can do it. You can do it through pranayama, breath work. You can do it through doing yoga pose. I'm not kidding. Because now suddenly all your focus, you've seen something horrible, go into pranayama, go into a yoga pose, go into a mantra, go into a quick micro meditation of 5 minutes. Shift, box, run up a hill. Just for 2 minutes, just run as fast as you can up and down until you blow out the steam. Because I want you to get the dopamine, the endorphins of the power that you need to create the new world. This is the recipe, my friend. The recipe isn't really protesting. I'm not joking. Yeah, on some levels, it does work. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of protest. It works very well in France because we still have fucking rights in France. But here, there are nefarious forces, both on the other side of the veils and right here on the ground of 3D. They are the slaves. They are the servants to the nefarious forces on the other side of the veils. And they are doing their bidding. And again, please study Anunnaki gods. Just study. Thank God people are finally talking about the God of the Old Testament is an Anunnaki god, a false prophet. All you have to do is, I'm not a Christian, but I follow Yeshua. I follow Buddha. I follow Krishna and others. So this level of despair that many of you, highly sensitive, empaths, psychics, starseeds, healers, healing facilitators, beautiful souls that you are, you're damn right, but I can't have you collapse. I can't. I'm begging you not to be completely devoured by what is happening right now. Your job is to raise the frequency of this planet. Your job is, that's your mission. It's one of your many missions. You will have individual missions for yourself and for the soul contracts you have with other souls that you will meet on your journey in this incarnation. And then you have a mission, and this is our collective mission as starseeds, to raise the frequency of this planet in order to transmute, collapse, implode this bullshit once and for all. Okay? I hope it makes sense, because I'm not trying to, I don't want to scare you, because there's nothing to be scared about. Nothing. You will survive this as you've survived thousands of incarnations under brutal dictatorships. Okay? And so you have it in you. You have the eye of the tiger. Find it. Do not be corrupted by absolute despair, depression. Again, people are literally taking their own lives. People are doing that. And again, I just talked about one instance of a boy that was 15 years old. I talked about it in depth. And again, you can look that on if you want on YouTube. But we are the light bringers in a world of pedestrian hive mentality, of fear, of avarice, of cruelty, and of there's no God. You can go to church all day long. I don't give a fuck. If you don't understand what's going on, if you don't have any compassion, and if you're not trying to be part of the solution, then you are nothing more than, you're part of a hive mentality of ants. You're an ant. But we who are the light bringers, and we are the light bringers, and we volunteered. You're not the chosen one. We're the volunteers. We volunteered when many souls on the other side of the veils said, no, I'm afraid of the amnesia. I'm afraid of forgetting everything. In fact, I've seen my own brothers and sisters, my soul tribe members, come and leap into 3D, thinking that this would just be one incarnation, and it turned into thousands in complete, utter amnesia. And so they are helping us on the other side of the veils, and they are assisting us, but we have to be in such a vibrational frequency match to hear them, to get the signs, to do the bidding, the beautiful directions that they're trying to show us. But if you're in massive depression or massive despair or anger, impotent anger, then guess what? Your frequency is not a match to receiving the message, the downloads, what they're trying to show you. So if your nervous system can't do more than 5 minutes, I'm asking you to tell all your friends, your children, your teenagers to do this. Meditate 5 minutes a day. Meditate 5 minutes a day and do it every day for the rest of the year. And then next year, start increasing 1 minute to your meditation per month to get your nervous system, your ADHD, corrupted by social media and other things, to get settled so that it can actually open its chakras, the 9 somatic chakras, so that the third eye can open, because right now many of you have a closed eyelid, I'm sorry. So that it can open so that you can get downloads through the crown chakra, so that your root chakra can feel safe to transmit. And all the chakras ignite, right? And so that's the message for you this morning or today, whatever time it is. And do what you need to do. Get grounded. The most simplest acts of self-healing can be as simple as walking on the wet grass. As simple as turning your back to a tree and leaning your entire body against it as if this tree is holding you up. And that is going to recalibrate and ground you. Some of the simplest things. And make sure that if you lay down on a blanket, it's made of cotton or wool or linen, but certainly not some plastic sheet or some bullshit polyester that prevents you from getting all the benefits of the beautiful frequency of this planet, Pachamama, Bhumi, Gaia, Mother Earth. And talk to her. Talk to her as you would talk to me, to your friend, to your child. Talk to her when you lay down on her. Speak to her. Cry into her arms. Release your sense of into her arms. Release your sense of impotence into her arms, and you will feel empowered. The eye of the tiger will reveal itself. And honestly, they're showing me that the eye of the tiger is your third eye in this incarnation. This means focus, fiercely compassionate, and realizing that this is a moment in time we all volunteered to be part of. And it wasn't to collapse into depression. It was not to be so destroyed by the many individuals who will lose their lives this year due to the ineptness and greed and cruelty, barbaric leadership that has changed the course for a minute. The intense reveal that we're seeing is for the greater good, for the whole entire system to collapse so that we can walk into New Earth. And in the guided meditation I did last night, very late last night, I invite you to go check it out. It's right there, guided meditation on the New Earth. If you're cynical, I'm going to give you my interpretation of cynicism. It's fear. It's fear, and cynicism is a barrier. And it makes a person who's cynical think they're empowered, logical, smart, mathematical. But you see, the concept of logic, 3D logic, is a joke. It's a farce. It's an illusion. There's no power in cynicism. There's no power in naivete. There's power in opening your frequency wheels, chakras, to receive, to literally understand that your body is your thermometer. Your compass is your heart chakra, and it's the compass of truth. It will never lie. And if you say to me, my heart's led me down the primrose path and I got, fucked over, I will tell you that wasn't your heart speaking. It was your ego. And you mistook it for your heart because you did not have heart coherence. You did not understand how to read your heart frequency. I'm sorry. That's it. That's the truth. Because when you hear and feel your heart, it will lead you in the right path every time without fail. Every fucking time. Any questions or comments? I just want to make sure before I sign off. Any questions or comments? Do not let go. I'm finding life weird, living in two worlds. Yes, we all, welcome. You know what, actually? Let me read this correctly. J.E. says, I'm finding life weird, living in two worlds. Perfect. That's it. You're there. Don't you see it? That's not weird. That's the sign that you're doing the right frequency exchange. You're stepping out of 3D into 5D, and you're tapping the glass on 5D. You're kicking fucking ass. Don't make that fucking make you confused or weird. You should say, yes, yes, I'm living in two worlds. Holy fuck. And eventually the 3D world bridge would collapse and you'll be fully in 5D. Don't you get it? This is perfect. This is not something to bemoan. This is something to celebrate. Are you kidding? You're kicking fucking ass. This is wonderful. Wonderful. You're doing great. I'm so glad you shared that. That's beautiful. I'm excited for you. I'm fucking happy for you. This is awesome. Many people don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Do you understand? There's 12 of us. Isn't that funny? 12. 12, the number 12, sacrificing the victim, which is 3. Connected to Uranus, the planet Uranus, connected to originality, original thought, religious, bringing down religion and examining all religions, curiosity, or an originator of new pathways, Nikola Tesla type of mindset, the mind, body, and spirit balance. But you realize that in my lives, I think I got 65 people on a live once, and it was about someone who was about to be, executed. That was the only reason. But do you understand there's very few of us on the planet? There are very few, but all of you are potent seeds. All of you listening, and people like you, and people like me that you're listening as well. You know what I mean? As you're scrolling. This is a sign that the 144,000 is probably a fucking correct number. At any one time, there is 144,000 of us. One of us dies, and somebody else comes up the ranks, grabbing the baton, and taking the torch of light, bringing light and sense. And if 144,000 out of that number, if say half of that number is in despair and depression and suicidal ideation, that's a fucking problem. And that's why I'm trying to be a voice of reason. Don't fall through the cracks. Witness it. Send beautiful light to these people. There's nothing else you can do but send light. And I mean potent light, remote healing light. That's what you're doing. Don't think it's not working. If you know someone has taken their lives, make sure they cross over. You'll know when they've crossed over. You'll feel it in your body. Please trust the wisdoms, the free will, the gifts you were given when you took on the mantle of the lineage you embody. Stop playing fucking small. Don't be arrogant. You're not chosen. You volunteered. Don't be arrogant. You don't have all these gifts. You're not Yeshua reincarnated, and you're not Mary Magdalene. Don't be arrogant. But what you have is your own brilliance, your own flame. And this flame has been coded with certain light codes that I don't have. And there's codes in mine that you don't have. And all of us create a crystal grid of ascension. All of us are very much a part of the ascension. And we all need to be all hands on deck. None of us can fracture the 144,000. There can't be 122. There can't be 108. It has to be 144,000. That means that all of us have to fucking do what we need to do. What we were born to do. The pact with our own soul contract and the soul contract that we have with the universe, the creator, and the collective. We are the light bringers. Without us, this will continue into another 3D cycle. It may even go into a deluge, very similar to what happened to Atlantis, because many of the parts that are being played out again, are the same fucking fuckery that the Atlanteans elite did to destroy Atlantis. The frequency was no longer a match. It collapsed, and there came the frequency of the earth basically rebelling and throwing off this barbaric collapse of what I would call spiritual technology deviancy. That's how I'm going to put it. Okay? And so we're seeing the same players again. Many of you were in Atlantis, and you know that. Some of you don't connect to that. You connect to Lemuria, or you connect to neither, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you're not part of the 144. But what it does mean is that for you who were in Atlantis when it collapsed, there has been a sense of shame and guilt, and you need to forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. We have been given the opportunity after 13,000 years, depending on who you talk to right the wrongs. Do not die in this incarnation without doing your part. You'll regret it. Again, you'll feel shame again. And so what do you do in your part? You may not be content creators. You may not be a voice, but you might be a musician. You might be an artist. You might be a writer. I don't know who you are, what you are. But I will say this. If you do what I ask, which is to manifest in your daily spiritual practice and meditation, it's all you got to do. We did it wrong in Atlantis. We tried to use force and might, muscle, and 3D or 5D brains, but we try to use our logical minds, our mathematical minds. We needed to use energy and frequency to destroy lower frequencies. We didn't do it that way. Okay, that's where we fucked up. So now we know, and so spread the word. Okay, because the problem with many of you is that you're watching shit go down and you're literally sobbing, and it's destroying your mental capacity to ignite 5D into full reality, a new age, a new earth, 5D. And we know about CERN. We know what they're trying to do. They're trying to open portals. They have opened portals. But do you understand? Your frequency is more powerful than these idiotic scientists. Do you know that? Do you know that 144,000 of us can do this, and we have more power than any foot soldier, any military, any BOMB, anything, if we put our collective mind and hearts and powers to it and plug into the auric field, plug into the Akashic records, rewrite what some elite have written into the Akashic Hall of Records. We have free will. And they have written a history, a potential reality that we want no part of. We have lived it for at least 2,000-3,000 years, but we no longer consent. So in the Hall of Records, you rewrite it by manifesting new earth, and you know that this is real. Why do you think for the last 30 years you've been hearing stories of people meditating and dissolving inoperable tumors in their brains, in their bodies? It was a precursor to showing us what is possible when you put your will, your visualization, your manifestation powers into action. To literally destroy 3D reality construct into a new reality. By going and stepping out of 3D, 4D, 5D, reconstructing your cellular, system, and bringing forth a new body, a fresh body that is free from, tumors, for example. So if we can do that, we can certainly bring in new earth on a collective at using all of our strength, special light codes of ascension that we inherently brought in with us. If you never felt good in your skin, you're starseed. If you were always in a melancholy state or depression, you're a starseed. If you never really got along with kids and you really didn't get along with a lot of people, not that you had fights with them, but you didn't feel good around people, you're a starseed. If you feel more connected They're telling me to say to technology or nature or both, you're a starseed. Okay? It's normal. We've all been lone wolves. We've been howling for each other, trying to find each other in the wilderness of this chaotic fucking system, controlled by the elite for their own, desires. And everything that's collapsing around you, it's really intense. It's like walking through the hall of mirrors and seeing images after images. It's fucking intense. It reminds me of Bruce Lee's movie. I think it's called Enter the Dragon, where he's in the hall of mirrors. It's pretty brutal. But don't let yourself collapse. Yeah, cry for an hour, cry for 2, but don't fucking make it 24 hours. Don't. Shift. Do whatever the fuck you need to do. Okay? I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to upload this on the Satanists Run the World. Exactly. I need to wake up 5 years ago. It's all good. You're not... Everyone's waking up at the right time. If you had woken up 5 years ago, your nervous system might have gone into a full-on depression. That could have been very dangerous for you. Trust when you've been awakened. Trust. Don't belabor, well, I should have woken up 5 years ago. I should have woken up when I was born. Let me tell you something, okay, from a person who was awake when I was born, okay? It fucking wasn't easy. I just told you I wanted to take my life at the age of 8, okay? That's not fucking normal on the normal scale of things. I had a very good life as an 8-year-old, to be honest. I was privileged. And so what was that? Melancholy. What was that? And Vietnam was happening during that time, okay? And these images were hard to watch, but necessary. And so what I will say to you is that some of you were protected from being awake, from being aware, from seeing, really seeing. And it is a horrific thing to be a child or a teenager to really understand the absolute fucking evil that surrounds us. For some kids, it's enough to fucking make them say, I'm out, fuck this. And kids are doing it in droves. They're leaving a planet. They can't handle it. And we as the adults need to make sure that we construct a grid that bridges 3D into 5D, that becomes an egregore of its own, that becomes a domino effect of hope, a glimmering hope of something that holds these children, these teenagers, these young adults from doing the final hopeless act of self-loathing and confusion. Okay? So you're part of the solution. But if you continue going into your own depression, no offense, God bless you, but you're part of the problem. Because if you're one of the 144,000 volunteers, you have a particular light code that works with mine, that works with you, and you, and you, and together we fucking create a blinding light of ascension. We're all needed. There's 8.2 billion people. That's all we need. There's 144,000 to keep the fucking eye of the tiger, the focus, the drive, and the belief. And cynical people need not apply. Get the fuck out of our way. I don't want to hear your shit. I don't need to hear your fears, projected as intelligence, academic intelligence, and, logical thinking. I don't need to hear your shit. Because people like Einstein and Nikola Tesla would have never invented what they invented if they were using logic based on the 3D mindset. It would have never happened. Let's just use some fucking brains on a higher spectrum. So don't bemoan where you're at. Just fucking hurry up and get to what you need to do. There are a lot of books for you to read, a lot of people to fucking follow, a lot of things to do. There's a lot of shit you need to do before you drop your body in this incarnation. Okay? And just do as much as you can with some urgency. Where did the 144... It comes from... That's a very good question. It comes from... Apparently it's mentioned in ancient scrolls, Sumeria, Babylonian. The Bible supposedly says it. I've never seen it in the Bible. And the 144,000 has been a tutored number for a long time. Mala beads have 108 beads. Mala beads. We have 9 somatic chakras. We have 9. The root chakra, the sacral chakra, the Heart chakra, the belly button, the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the high heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown. 9, somatic. Okay, not 7. And of course, we have a lot more chakras than that. Don't get me wrong. And this is known. And where does it come from? It comes from the Vedic scriptures. And where do the Vedic scriptures come from? It came from us as star seeds when we brought knowledge down to this planet, down to humanoids that were here at the time, that recorded, at first orally passed, and then eventually recorded these wisdoms from the star seed, from the star people, whether they're Pleiadian or Lyran or, again, Andromedan. I mean, and there's other races, don't get me wrong. There's so many races of sentient beings on other planets. It's unhinged. When people tell you there's no life form in the moon, there's no life form in Saturn, there's no life form in Venus, they're absolutely right. In a 3D construct, there is no life form. You're absolutely right. It would not exist. But in 5D, 6D, 7D, there's life forms. There's life forms. So we need to stop being so fucking arrogant and thinking that this chair is this chair and the only reality is this chair. That's the stupid shit. It's like the book that I read out loud. I read the entire book. It's called Mind Power into the 21st Century, written in the 90s by John Kehoe, talks to you about the holographic universe. And to be honest with you, it's probably the best book on that concept. It's the most, how would I put it, digestible breakdown on how the universe works and how manifestation works. You should read it. It's about 149 pages, 148 pages. It's called Mind Power into the 21st Century by John Kehoe. That is a primer. There's certain books I connect my clients to who have a 3D thinking partner, and those are the books that kick down the 3D bullshit out of the consciousness, limited consciousness of these 3D thinkers. So one is Mind Power into the 21st Century by John Kehoe, Kehoe. It's on Amazon, on eBay, on thrift books. The second book that is really good for 3D thinkers who are trying to learn out of this limited construct is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. The second book that he wrote, and I would read them in order like that, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But the Surrender Experiment, and it's particularly good for men, because men see their value with their bank account. Men see their value by what they possess in the material world. That's how they see their value, and that has been promoted even further by, how would I put this without being an asshole? I don't think there's a good way to say it. By women who value men by how much they have in their accounts. There's a currency exchange in a way. I'm beautiful, you're rich. That's it. I'm not signing a prenup unless after a 2-year divorce, you deposit $30 million in my account. That kind of shit. It's that world. It's the ancient world of dowries and arranged marriages, let's be honest, okay? Wrapped in the false love, the illusion of love. And so with that said, the Surrender Experiment is about Michael Singer in the late 60s, early 70s, who's realizing that he has a monkey mind, that he has a second dialogue going on in his head. And he knows it's not him. It's like this weird person in his head constantly talking, and it's talking shit, massive shit. And so he starts reading some really beautiful books on Zen masters on how to calm the monkey mind through meditation. And he becomes, he's voracious in the way he pursues meditation. And the irony of ironies, and in doing that, money starts chasing him. Well, it's no surprise, because when your frequency is a high level frequency for multiple meditation, which in this case, he was probably meditating 2-3 hours a day, I kid you not. And money was just chasing him down the street. It was insane. And part of the reason why this was happening is when people were approaching him with what he might not have known were opportunities, his monkey mind would say no, and he would say yes. And before he knew it, he was a billionaire. He didn't chase the money. That was not his end goal. His end goal was to get his monkey mind in set, okay? to shut the fuck up, okay? So that book is a mind blower. I've never heard a person say that was boring. Never, 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 never. And I would recommend you just get on Audible, because in that way you can just do shit, drive around, do your errands, and listen to it. And if I were you, I would listen to it more than once, at least 2 or 3 times. The second book after that is The Untethered Soul. And why is this important? Because while he was writing The Untethered Soul, which I call the Bible for the soul, or the holy book for the soul, I should say that instead, he was facing 25 years in maximum prison, okay, for fraud. Now, at that point, he's probably in his 50s, right? And he's got 1,000 employees, and one of his accounts was committing fraud. And the FBI came in and did what the FBI does. And he didn't freak out. And for 3 years, I think it was 3 years, I might be wrong, could have been longer, but in 3 years of fighting the government, right? Because that's what he is. It was government versus Michael Singer, right? And he's like really zen. He's transcendental. He's saying, well, if I'm supposed to go to jail, if that's how it's supposed to end, then he surrendered again. Meanwhile, his top attorney died of leukemia. I believe it was leukemia. And most people would have freaked the fuck out. And he was just zenning. He was just meditating. And during that time, he wrote The Untethered Soul. His nervous system, his soul, his entire body system was at peace, surrendered to what was. And of course, thank God, he was able to fight the charges and he is free. But my point is, that's an extraordinary mindset. That's the kind of mindset I started to talk about in the beginning of this live, to say we know the shit show's happening, but we have to get our nervous system, we need to empower our soul, we need to use our somatic body to increase the frequency of the highest level of frequency resonance that we can hit, to allow the collapse of the 3D world so that we can move right in, like think of Noah's Ark, if you will, so we can bridge away from the bullshit and bridge right into 5D. And some of you will be alive to see it. I guarantee it. And some of us will not be here to see it. But that is the kind of, it's not even faith. It's better than that. It's knowing. It's the unspoken knowing. It's realizing that you can actually tap into the Akashic records and write the history of the new earth. It's up to you. You can write the Mad Max of this planet. You can write the Sarah Connor Terminator type of fucking reality, or you can accept and write the egregore of the truth of the new earth. And that is fantastic. Why do you think you can manifest shit? It's because the Akashic records are open to you, and you have multiple fucking crossroad moments, multiple, where you can either get the job or lose the job. Or if you lose the job, you go, wait, hang on. If I lost the job and I was manifesting it, but it didn't come through, I was being protected from maybe a fucking asshole of a boss that would have made my life miserable. And I would have been completely addicted to the money, and I would have never left. And eventually I would have been fired, and I would have been there for 1.5 years, and I would have been fired, and I would have gone through a massive fucking depression. Maybe I was protected from that. Thank you, universe, for your wisdom for not letting me get the job. Do you understand? Like, it's never, oh God, that manifestation doesn't work. It's, oh God, thank you for the wisdom and protecting me from this. And when you shift the way you accept the failures and the wins, when even the failures are a blessing and you believe it with every fiber of your body, the universe responds with a smile. And the universe becomes more and more generous, because you've hacked out of your mindset of lack, of fear, of resentment, of cynicism. And that's massive. That's like massive evolution, honestly. You know what I mean? Thanks for encouraging me to stay strong and providing so much hopeful energy. Well, that's our job. I'm a starseed trapped by the unawakened family. Can starseeds opt out and drop? I don't know what you mean by opt out and drop, but I will say to you that if your family is unawakened, that is your lineage family. That's not your soul tribe family. And I learned this from gay males. gay men in San Francisco. I remember living there in the 80s during the AIDS epidemic. And what I learned from gay male population was that their family were each other. They would have Thanksgiving together. They would have Christmas together. They would come with their partners and celebrate and, create these incredible Christmas trees and have barbecues in the park together. And they were family. They were brothers from another mother. But they were truly family to each other because all of them had been rejected by their family. These guys were coming out of Texas, Idaho, Bible Belt bullshit, Muslim bullshit, all kinds of bullshit of what is okay, what is normal. And they had created their own soul tribe. And that's what you need to understand. Your blood family, you can still, I'm not saying don't call him. In fact, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying call them, happy Mother's Day, happy Christmas. But like, if you actually are waiting for that family to give you a sense of family, you're barking up the wrong tree. You got to create your own family. Does that make sense? That's my answer to you. I have read the Surrender Experiment 3 times. I've learned so much each time. Definitely a book to get. I wish they had it in Spanish Audible. I know what you mean. I imagine writing my script. Yeah, but I mean, your script for what? You know what I mean? Do you understand that at this point now we're being asked to not just write a script to write a script, not one more fucking script on, a Jane Austen type of, arc, storyline. The script now has to be more like The Fountain, okay? The script needs to be more like something that's never been made before. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers are making fucking Gladiator 2, and they're making fucking Snow. How many fucking ways can you make Snow White? How many ways can you do Wuthering Heights? At what point is the final version the final version? I think it'd be like 75 years before you make another Wuthering Heights, for example, or another Jane Austen. I mean, how many times can you make fucking Emma? I mean, it's insane. So what you need to do is make sure that you write a screenplay. And I'm telling you this because this is it. Everything we create has to have a greater good. Why am I writing this? Why am I painting this? Why am I saying this? Why am I dancing this? Why am I making this music? Who does it help? How does it help? How does it originate a new concept of philosophy that can help with the ascension? This is what we're being asked to do, okay? All right? Because unless you come from a rich family where there's nepotism of the ass and you've got all kinds of connections, I know the business. My father was in the business, and I knew people in the business at Los Angeles, and I know the game. And of course now, thank God, it's more global. But there are a lot of steps you got to make. And there's a lot of moving parts, and that's not to dissuade you. It's to refine. I'm hoping to influence you to refine what you're writing, okay? Because we need something stronger, more potent, if that makes sense, okay? And when I ask for something from the universe, I like, for example, I'm working on the book Starseeds How We Fell, and I know exactly what it's for. It's to awaken starseeds. It's to let them know how we fell, what's going on, who are you, why is this important? And it's all from the Akashic readings I've done over the years. And it's really exciting. The information is exciting. And so, when I wrote my book Recall, it's on my profile if you want to check it out. But Recall was about a past life. It's brutal. It's erotic. It's brutal. There's sacrifice in it. You'll see if you get it. And it's massively erotic. And it's about twin flames that have 2 incarnations, one in the present tense and one in ancient Mesopotamia. And about the brutality of war, the brutality of conquering people's lands and so forth. And how that samskara impression reverberates across timelines, creating toxic loops and so forth. And but when I wrote the book, it wasn't, I didn't think I'd be rich, trust me, but I thought, well, why am I writing this book? What is the point of this book? And once I realized it was to help people ignite their own memory of past life, that's what the book started doing. In other words, people who read the book were like coming back to me saying, I don't know what it is, but I'm having dreams of my past lives. What the fuck? And so that was my intention when I was finishing it up, when I was polishing up the book, for example. You know what I mean? So that's what you want to do, okay? You want to work on the greater good. It has to be for the greater good. It can't be for your own aggrandissement. It can't be for your own self-importance. It can't. We are being asked to humble ourselves, and we are being asked to do things. Some of the things that I'm writing, I'm going to be blunt with you guys. I will be surprised if 100 people read it, but it still is something I have to write. And this is not me talking about manifestation. I'd rather manifest the new world than to manifest a bestseller. Why? Because the work that, for example, for me, is to write the book for its integrity as a blueprint or a little map, a piece of a little map of our whole ascension and our past, to ignite other starseeds to remember. And it might not be, you know what I mean? And I'm not quite sure I want to get it into the hands of a publishing house, because I do not want fucking massive fucking edits. You know, editing some key points that are very important. And so with that said, with the saturation of self-publishing, the fuckery of Amazon, to be honest with you, this is known in the self-publishing world. They do not pay you. They're full of shit. And also, you've got, you know, I think there's only 2 publishing houses. When I was a kid, we had like 15 or 16 publishing houses in New York Cities and agencies, and we had tons of agencies, but still do. But we had 50. I think we had 15 publishing houses. I think we're down to 2 now. I think 3 or 2. That's concerning. So, you know, self-publishing is the only way. In terms of screenplays, I think it's great, but I think if you can use AI to put a piece of your screenplays in movement, you can make it go viral. And one example of that is Astral Legends on YouTube. Follow Astral Legends. He's got incredible content, fucking incredible content. He covers a lot of things, and he uses AI to create his images, his movies, and brilliant. And so that could give you an idea of how to put your parts of your screenplay into action so that you could actually get funding or literally sell the screenplay. But don't forget, the screenplay, anyway, there was a movie that won an Oscar. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Float, or something like that. It's about a black cat. It's a 90-minute movie, and it was all done on a system. I forgot the software, but you might want to look it up. The Black Cat, AI, digital. It's kind of clunky looking. It's not seamless. It's not anime by any means. But come to think of it, depending on what you're writing, you know, your best bet. This is not the country anymore. This country, I'm going to be blunt. This country does not want creativity. So you may want to go to Japan and see, and send your work to Japan to see if your work is connects to the Japanese filmmakers, anime filmmakers. Similarly, maybe England and Ireland and all of the English-speaking countries, to be honest, especially if it's mystical, and then look at the English-speaking world, you know, Norway, Sweden, for example, and it might be small press, but if you do your due diligence in hitting libraries and really promoting yourself, you know, and to be honest, social media is going to be your sword of truth, your Excalibur in bringing your projects to the world. And some of us just don't have it in us to fucking do that much. It's almost like your whole world becomes that project. And if you're a starseed like me, I have a lot of interests, and some of my lives are definitely a public service. Trust me, I'm not getting a fucking dime. I'm not joking when I say that. When I say I'm not getting a dime, I mean, many lives I get 0, and some lives I get 78 cents for the whole week. So it's like, it's not paying for my bills, let me just say. So, but there is a sense of urgency for many of us, and I'm one of them, in putting out messages. It's weird too, because right now it's been going on almost on the daily, and the urgency is real, and I'm feeling it. The urgency is real. You guys need to learn how to just do what I'm begging you to do, and what you know you can do. You know you can do this, but you haven't taken the time, and maybe you're doom scrolling, maybe you're turning on yourself, not knowing what to do next. And then you see images and videos that really hit you hard and you start crying, or your whole body just collapses into grief. And I'm just kind of giving you a little recipe to not make that your fucking normal daily reality, and to change your energy to something else. You know what I mean? All right, listen, I gotta go. Sending you much love on your journey. I will upload this. Go on my YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. On YouTube is the guided meditation I did last night of the new earth. Please follow it. I give instructions, and the instructions are very fluid. You'll see what I mean when you see it. And I am so honored to, have the opportunity to speak to you and to share what I hope is helpful to you. Sending you much love. Namaste. Be well. Take care.